Subaru, lots of air conditioning leaks all the time, year after year, the last decade and this decade. They don't fix their problems. They know it's a leak problem and they know where they are. They refuse to repair them because it makes them a lot of money. Now, here's a telltale sign right here. Let's take a good analytic look at this right here. You see this little black line that's coming up here? What this is oil that's coming from the seam from the O-rings that seeps and it crawls. The oil actually wicks, like when you touch water to a dry sponge down at the corner, and if you dip the sponge into water and you just touch the water, you ever notice how the water just keeps on climbing up the sponge? Oil does the same thing. So the refrigerant oil comes here, it climbs, the dust builds up on it, and that's why it's black. But if you look more back here, you see this dark shadowing up at the top, and you see all this dark shadowing right here, and if you touch it, it's, well, you can see how black it is on my finger. And if you pull back inside there, you get a little straw or oh, you can see where my finger's touching right there. That's slippery and wet. You see where I'm taking off, how it's shining now? That's all wet. That's shiny, wet oil. That's from the O-rings on the back side. We go back inside here on the back side of the expansion valve, soaking in and seeping into this sponge material. This foam is saturated with oil, and it's seeping forward and starting to crawl up the firewall. That's from the common leak right there. Usually we could see it here, and it looked like they went through water at time and it didn't wash it all off. Just the slightest buildup. Oh, let's see if I could focus for you. Just the slightest buildup right at the top there. It's only a shadow of almost nothingness that you can see. Usually we see it right here. Always change these O-rings no matter what. Do not skip that if a Subaru comes in here. Another problem, aftermarket condensers. Stop and go traffic. Big problem with not overheating, but your high side pressure going up, especially in desert areas where you hit 110, 120 degrees, 95 degrees. The aftermarket condensers, you see this piece of foam right here? This piece of foam is glued to the condenser and goes between the radiator, the condenser, and the sheet metal. And what it stops is all this hot air that comes, the air goes through the condenser, it picks up heat. Then it goes through the radiator, it picks up more heat. Then the hood is closed because the fans are blowing. This is under high pressure. In front of the condenser, because the air is being pulled this way, this is under low pressure. With this hood closed, this 190 degree air wants to wrap around. See where my fingers are hitting that piece of foam? It wants to wrap around in front of the condenser and reheat the condenser. And oh, same thing over here. And if you look up here, you see this foam right there? That's factory. If they go to some body shops who have directs and the insurance companies say they have to use aftermarket part components, this will be missing. So hot air wraps around here and reheats the radiator. And that means less air. It pulls here and it pulls around here. That means less air going over the condenser. Hot air wraps around stop and go traffic, and especially at stop, goes around and goes in front of the condenser, reheating the condenser. And way down here at the bottom, definitely be careful of those aftermarket guys because they will screw you. See this right here? That's foam. They have all this blocked off so the hot air cannot come around and wrap around. So that's original. But the one thing with the original, after all these years, you'll see the telltale sign of a little bit of stain of oil. It's been washed off through rain and car wash. But if you see that dark stain, let me get my hand up in there. This is an old dark stain. It used to be all down here, but it's been washed off through car washes or rain. Now if I go down, let's see. Let me see if I can get a clean finger. Oh, I'll just use my pants, get it clean. Let's see if I could get that right there. And you touch, can't get my, up under, inside where you pull out the desiccant material. There's a big O-ring up in there. Let's see if I can get my finger back out. And I ripped my glove, but you see it's all oily and wet. That is the O-ring up in the desiccant material going to the receiver dryer. That's a common leak place, really common. And This is at one of my best shops that I even bring my own personal vehicle to, and I recommend people to go to here at Pat's Garage. They get an unusually high volume of Subarus, and that's the one thing you want about a shop. If you have a particular vehicle, you want to go to a shop that if they get a lot of Toyotas, Hondas, Subarus, anything like that, you want to go to the shop that gets a lot of your kind of vehicle. They do a lot of hybrids. You want that shop. You don't want the guy who has a sign out say we do hybrids and they only get 2 hybrids in a week. That is not the shop you want to go to. All right, let's get back to this clutch gap. Always check these gaps on these clutch. And let's see if we could zoom in on here. And can we see a little? It's not really bad. Okay, right there. You can see that light through there. Okay, that is probably edging. If you break out your micrometer, you'll probably see that's about 20 thousandths, 24 thousandths. So that might be on the upper end of what is allowable for a Subaru clutch gap. So you always want to check that. If not, if it's too wide, you're going to have to go through the process, remove the screw, take off the clutch, remove the shim, and you might have to go get a shim kit. I'm trying to get back here so we're clear. Come on. It's going anywhere but clear. Very common problem with Subarus. Another one, when you're leak checking, if it's been through rains and stuff like that, it could leak here, and you go with your leak checker, you go with your bubbles or something like that, you find no leak. But when you're going down the road, this engine is vibrating. All these hoses, they're vibrating when you're going down the road. Sometimes when you're leak checking, you vibrate the hose, you move the hose around, and then you hold your leak checker right here, and then you might find your leaks. But if you just leave it still and you don't touch it, you find no leaks. So remember to do that. Catch you guys later when I find out more about this vehicle.